fake guitarists in this economy? Good afternoon. How's it going, everyone? I hope you've been doing well. If you're new here, hi, I'm Miles. I do music stuff. And today we're going to be talking about a video I recently saw from a YouTuber who goes by the name of J Cobra Records. I think it's J Cobra. I don't think it's like Jacobra. But as a fellow lefty guitarist on the internet, I want to personally say hello to the greatest and smartest person that's ever walked the face of the earth. It's nice to see someone who's just like me. By the way, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. It's free, it helps this channel grow, help me out. Okay, back to it. But yeah, recently I came across this channel. He had a video talking about how guitarists on social media will implement a certain number of tricks in order to make their performances that they're posting on Instagram or wherever look more polished, like no mistakes, everything's flawless, nothing's wrong with it whatsoever. And honestly, I thought that video was great. I thought it was really thoroughly done, and like he's showing you how the magic trick is done. But you know, I think that serves from an outside perspective. If you're not a guitar player, it makes you more equipped to know when someone's implementing these tricks to spruce up what they're doing in their videos. However, recently he posted another video that I kind of walked away from feeling puzzled by. This video regarding a similar topic, only in this case, rather than focusing in on guitarists posting to social media, it's more about guitarists faking what they're doing in a live setting. I was also left puzzled because in the video he mispronounces Guthrie Govan's name, which leads me to believe that you don't know as a guitarist who Guthrie Govan is. You're supposed to be the greatest and smartest person like me. You don't know who Guthrie Govan is? But anyway, for those of you that are uninitiated, let's pick this apart. The video that Jacob's focusing on primarily in his video, it stems from a video of Lucas Mann with Rings of Saturn in regards to a video that Jared Dines had put up on YouTube about 5 years ago, talking about finding fake guitarists. Which in my personal opinion, I feel like that video was serving as a promotional video to stir up some hype for his upcoming biggest shred collab video that he does every year on his channel. At least that's been the regular thing on his channel since he stopped just getting bigger and bigger planks of wood and suspending more and more strings across it and calling it a guitar and implying that he could play gent on it. But we'll come back to that. As I said before, he's focusing in on a clip of Lucas Mann playing a specific and at this point infamous section of a Rings of Saturn song called Godless Times. And I've talked about this specific clip on this channel before, but that video and then the video that followed that was sort of a rebuttal to Jared Dines' video, it didn't sit well with Jacobra as far as a response and explanation. I think the implication from Jacobra's video is that Lucas isn't actually playing the guitar in that section of the song and it's just a backing track that you hear because it sounds too perfect. But I think an aspect that gets overlooked in his video in regards to this topic is the fact that Lucas Mann is one of those guitar players that writes guitar parts that are so ridiculous that you as a listener, your first thought is going to be, well, that can't be possible. That's ridiculous. And I know for me growing up, I'd have these moments with different artists where I'd be like, that's insane. I have to see how they do that in a live setting. And then I would go and get tickets to go and see them play live. A perfect example would be someone like Michelangelo Badio, someone that I saw when I was super young, and I was like, he's playing on both sides of the neck. I can barely play on this one. And then seeing him play in a live setting, that just solidified everything for me. But in the case with Lucas, it seems that the implication is that it's impossible that he's playing the guitar part that is there, and he's not doing it live. He can't play it live. Except he can? In Lucas's rebuttal video, yes, he plays the sweeping part in that instance, but there's also other videos of him playing the song in front of people in a live setting. And are there instances of him making mistakes? Probably. There's video of Tim Henson messing up on a live stream.
It is a bitch. That little lick is a bitch, but when nailed just right, it sounds awesome.
But I know for me personally, if I'm in the audience and I see one of my favorite guitar players playing a song that they wrote that's like seemingly impossible, and they have a flub within the parts of that song, my takeaway from that is, okay, whew, they're human. Cool. So there's still hope for me. The one thing that admittedly was weird from Lucas's rebuttal video is that he claims that on his floor monitor, there's none of his guitar coming through the monitor. I would like to think that what he's trying to say is that for that specific part of the song, he doesn't have his guitar going through the monitors, but rather it's a backing track that he's hearing. But even still, like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to hear yourself for the entirety of the song, unless there's like a different instrument or something that's taking a solo in that portion of the song and you're not playing anything. But as I'm sure most of you know, Lucas Man's a weird dude. But anyway, with all that said, my question for Jacobra at this point is, what should he do? Are you asking for Lucas Man to come out and say that he can't play guitar, let alone this specific part of a song? Because if backing tracks are illegal, there's so many other aspects of guitar that are worked into the mix to enhance what the guitar can do on a regular basis for every guitarist out there. For example, the utilization of distortion. The distortion that we tend to use with guitar, it's not something that necessarily comes naturally from a clean amplifier or even a DI signal. But by having a dedicated distortion device, you're allowing your guitar to have increased sustain, more pronounced harmonic content, and an overall sound that without a distortion device, whether it be a pedal or a quad cortex or whatever, without that you wouldn't be able to replicate that sound as easily. Or how about a delay or a wah pedal? Look at someone like Steve Vai, for example, who goes out on stage and dazzles his audience with these otherworldly, long-lasting, sustaining notes that he plays seemingly effortlessly. If you don't know that he has a Sustainiac pickup in the neck position on his guitar, you just think that he's incredible. Doing his little prance, holding the guitar by the whammy bar, sucking his cheeks in. While he's doing it, wearing some like flowery shirt or something. I'm not much of a fan of Steve Vai. Sorry. But for the longest time in my younger years of playing guitar, I'd have people come up to me and ask me how I got so good at playing guitar. And my answer would be, jokingly, go out and get a wah pedal and get a delay pedal. Because you could play all the wrong notes, but as long as you just move your fingers fast, everything sounds awesome. I think what you're looking for with this video about Lucas is to encourage more authenticity and realness amongst musicians that are putting themselves out there to the public. But that then begs the question, is that what the audience wants? In your social media guitar player video, you talked about the guy from the group Buried Alive and how like you could see in his videos that there's aspects of his playing that aren't matching the video in comparison to the audio itself. And I mean, like, there's lots of instances of people doing this online. You could take my friend RJ for an example of this. There's a lot of post-processing going on with his guitar, but I know he can play the guitar. And I think the general objective for people that are doing things like this post-production is because it sounds cool. And I think people are gravitating towards things that sound cool. I don't think that for most people that are just enthusiasts that it goes that deep. Evidence to my case would be the scandal that took place a little while back with the band Falling in Reverse and Laptop Gate. And my personal belief is that if you have a reliance as a band on a sole device of a laptop that's controlling your lights, the cues for your different songs, changing effects patches for your instruments, all that stuff, if you have such a reliance that without it you can't put on a show, you're probably not a very good band. But you know what happened to anyone and everyone that tried to put that thought out into the world? They got dogpiled by the army of Ronnie Radke simps. And like, frankly, this isn't even a Ronnie Radke Falling in Reverse problem. For anyone, if you put so much reliance on one piece of gear to the point where if you don't have it, you can't do your job as a musician, I mean, that's not responsible. You're putting too much responsibility into one singular item when you should probably not do that. However, the general consensus from those would-be concert goers seemed to have been that they don't care, that potentially the band's not really playing all the stuff that's being pushed out of the speakers at a live show. They're going to the show because they want to see a show. They don't want to see a concert. That's not what they're throwing their money at. This is why pro wrestling is still a thing. And why, if you're in certain company and you imply that pro wrestling is just a really aggressive soap opera, they get offended. From a musician's standpoint, is it discouraging to know that people would rather go see a show where the band is just running around on stage and there's choreographed lights and a backlit backdrop and lasers and stuff like that, while everyone on stage is arguably not really playing much of their instruments? Yeah. But I mean, if you really wanted to go out and see great musicianship, you could go to a Polyphia show. Or, I don't know, maybe Guthrie Govan! No, I'm not done with that! Anyway, I'm not sure what my final takeaway was supposed to be from Jacobra's video. Like, am I supposed to view Lucas Mann as a fraud?
You were just making it look like you were playing. You're a phony! Hey, this guy's a great big phony!
I wouldn't go that far. And even his guitar tech had said in Lucas's rebuttal video that there are countless instances of artists that are using backing tracks just to kind of like grease the wheels in a live setting. But also, this is about a 5-year-old video. And as I hinted at the beginning of the video, the initial Jared Dines video where all the controversy stemmed from, I believe, was supposed to be serving as a means of promotion for his upcoming biggest guitar collab shred of the year thing that he does every year. And I say that because in Jared's video, he calls out not just Lucas Mann, but Manuel Gabriel Fernandez from the band Unprocessed. And Jared has since deleted that video, which kind of further feeds my suspicion that it was just there to kind of stir up a ruckus online and get some attention drawn to these individual guitar players that just so happen to end up in the collaboration video at the end of the year. I think as a society, or at least as the music community, there's been a collective move towards a preference of having a show that you can neatly package and repackage every night of a tour so that everything sounds the same, everything looks the same, and there's no unique qualities from night to night, so that there's no potential bumps in the road. Efficient, yes, but is it right? I don't know. I mean, is a Michael Bay action movie still good if there's an explosion from a semi-truck that isn't a real explosion that takes place? I think that when it comes to guitar and musicianship in general, that there's certainly a line between being creative and then kind of like putting your guitar in cruise control. But I think that's something that's open for interpretation. I know one of the things that I like to do nowadays is I'll try to write out a solo for a song. Initially, I'll write it out in Guitar Pro, and I'll come up with all these cool ideas and be like, oh yeah, this is crazy. Knowing that eventually I'm gonna have to be able to play it. And so for me, I see it as a challenge. I think there's other people out there that do similar things with that same sort of motivation in mind. And then I think there are still people out there that are dressing up what they do so that they can get some internet clout. But I think just in general, and thanks to videos from guys like Jacobra, we know better than to fall for that sort of stuff. But I don't know. What do you think? You tell me. And while you're at it, be sure to go and subscribe to Jacobra. He's got great stuff over there on his channel. You should check him out if you haven't already. But before you do that, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. The free buttons that are down here that, like, you don't even have to click on physical buttons. You're just clicking your mouse. Like, how much easier could it be? And if you like what I'm doing here and you want to do more than just liking and subscribing on the video, down below in the description, I will leave a link to my Patreon page where you can see what tiers are attached to your support over there. Shout out to my patrons for making these videos possible. That's all I got for you guys for now. New videos coming soon because I'm trying to get stuff out. All right, new reviews, and stick around, stay tuned, keep playing. Peace.